So Sam Goodman was scheduled to face and challenge Naoya Inoue next week on the 24th of December. He got cut in his final sparring session, and now the fight has been postponed to January 24th. So that's an extra month for both fighters, and that was going to be an epic Christmas present, Inoue versus Goodman, but it is what it is. It's postponed. And in this video, I want to talk about something which I've been thinking about all year, and that is that Naoya Inoue's mandatory for the WBA is former champion Akhmadaliev. I'm not going to try and pronounce his first name. And the WBA, who have kind of been playing coy over this whole situation, and we all know the sanctioning bodies are very inconsistent at enforcing their mandatories, they said the other day that Inoue will have 10 days after January 24th, if he beats Goodman, to agree to fight Akhmadaliev. And this was, again, on X, and Eddie Hearn responded, who, by the way, has a co-promotional deal with Akhmadaliev, that he thinks Inoue vacates. Clearly, Eddie Hearn is just loving the sound of his own voice, because does anybody really think Inoue is scared of Akhmadaliev? Don't believe that for a second. However, the reason I wanted to make this video is because, one, this is the fight I want to see, Inoue versus Akhmadaliev, for several reasons which I'll get into in a second. And the fight that has been talked about really all year has been Inoue against Junto Nakatani. And this may potentially throw a monkey wrench into that situation, because Inoue doesn't strike me as the type of fighter who wants to vacate bouts. Like, when he was at bantamweight and he became undisputed champion, he didn't hold on to them for a sustained period of time and run the risk of getting stripped of one of them. He just said immediately, no, I've challenged everybody in this division I want to, I'm moving up. He became undisputed champion in a year, and since then he's just been fighting his mandatories. Well, TJ Doherty was the exception, which I didn't like, but anyway, Inoue, he doesn't strike me as the type of guy who wants to vacate bouts. So is he going to be prepared to vacate a bout against Akhmadaliev, or to, again, not fight him, if it means he's going to be stripped? Because Inoue, I don't know what his feelings are when it comes to Akhmadaliev. I mean, Inoue doesn't show a lot of emotion. He's a man of few words. Plus, he doesn't speak English. Whereas his promoter, Bob Arum, or actually I should say co-promoter, he's been talking down Akhmadaliev, for those who don't know, saying in statements like this that nobody knows him, no chance, who is that guy, etc., etc. Eddie Hearn, who, again, has to really push for this fight, has been saying that the fight would be great. And, again, Arum, I don't know how much influence he actually has over Inoue's career, so I don't know what motivation he has on saying this. Maybe it's because he just doesn't like Eddie Hearn. Maybe it's because the Nakatani fight is the one for him because it makes the most money, even though he doesn't need it. Maybe Inoue doesn't want the Akhmadaliev fight right now as much as he wants Nakatani. So, again, not sure how much Arum's words are worth taking into consideration, because at the end of the day, I think Inoue and his team make the decisions. But Akhmadaliev, I will say this, because I'm going to be fair, and if you watch my videos that I made after Inoue defeated Luis Neri, and I made a video, a follow-up one, defending him from all this unfair criticism he's received from certain fans. Akhmadaliev, in my opinion, has had a bit of a unfair situation since losing the bouts, because he was unified champion after beating Daniel Roman, and you can see here, defense, defense, defense. He loses to Marlon Tapales in a split decision, and because it was a mandatory, there was no rematch. Now, that decision was so close that you would think a rematch could have happened, but it happened in April 2023, which is when Inoue moved up and challenged Stephen Fulton. So I've wondered this for over a year since that fight, whether or not the WBA chose not to enforce a rematch, because again, it's not like Akhmadaliev was some random champion. He had defended the bout multiple times, or bouts I should say, plural, multiple times, and Tapales was a mandatory, but it was a super close decision. I wonder if the WBA didn't call for a rematch because they wanted some of that Naoya Inoue money, because they knew a fight with Inoue against the winner would sell. So yeah, maybe that's why Akhmadaliev didn't get a rematch. He then, again, has fought Gonzalez and just fought the other weekend against Franco. He has now been just really keeping his number one mandatory position. So yeah, I want to see this fight more than I want to really see any other fight for Inoue in the division. Because Inoue's fight with Tapales wasn't that competitive, really. Goodman, again, I think Inoue wins. He already just knocked out Neri. Liam Davies, I mean, he just lost as well. And people knew that he wasn't ready for Inoue anyway, even though he was undefeated. But that loss, I mean, Frank Warren isn't going to be pushing for that fight anytime soon, and nor should he. Doheny, I don't know how he's in the top 10 of the rankings, because that was a really poor fight, him and Inoue, but whatever. I, again, want to see the Akhmadaliev fight, because Akhmadaliev is seasoned. He sounds a lot more confident the way he talks about Inoue. I know Stephen Fulton and his team were very confident before the fight, but I'm just saying, in terms of fighters who I think can challenge Naoya Inoue, which is not something we see very often, I want to see this fight. The Nakatani fight, again, it's the one that everybody wants. It's the one Inoue wants. It's the one Nakatani wants. He just fought in October, and I don't think he is going to want to be inactive for much longer. I mean, those Japanese fighters, they like to stay active, and him fighting in October, if Inoue was to get past Sam Goodman, it would set up a fight perfectly for next year, and Nakatani's preparation in terms of being active could potentially be about as good as it could be. If Inoue needs to fight Akhmadaliev next, again, will Nakatani want to sit out? I highly doubt it. And then that fight that is talked about probably more than any other fight in the history of Japanese boxing just kind of falls by the wayside. Will they let a big money fight like that potentially go to waste? Will Inoue want to keep hold of the belts? Will Bob Arum want to get in the way because, again, he's Bob Arum? Will Inoue make the decision to vacate the belt, or will staying undisputed matter to him that much? These are all things that we don't really know the answers to, so let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think there's a chance Inoue vacates? Do you think Arum's going to have any effect on what happens here? And again, is there something else I'm missing in terms of the best fights for Inoue in this division? Let me know, guys. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more.